I'm Andrew Wolf, game designer for USAopoly, and I'm here to show you how to play Thanos Rising, Avengers Infinity War. In this cooperative game for 2 to 4 players, you're going to work together and try and defeat Thanos and his villainous allies before Thanos himself can manage to collect all 6 Infinity Stones, place them in the Infinity Gauntlet, and wipe out half the life in the universe. First, let's set up the Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity Stones. Take each of the 6 Infinity Stone cards, placing them around the Infinity Gauntlet, as so. Then, take each of the 6 Infinity Stones and place it on its matching Infinity Stone card. Place the Infinity Stone control counters nearby to help keep track of Thanos' progress, tracking down and collecting each of the 6 Infinity Stones over the course of the game. Next, players are going to collect their team base of operation, deployment token, and starting hero card. So for example, if I'm playing as the Avengers with the Avengers compound, here's my deployment token, and I'm going to find my starting hero, Captain America, from the asset deck. Next, let's set up the deployment zone. First, place Thanos in the center of the deployment zone, randomly facing one of these 3 sectors. Then, take the shuffle deck of asset cards and deal out the top 9 cards, placing heroes and villains in sectors around the deployment zone. Take the damage counters and place them nearby the deployment zone, ready to add damage to heroes and villains as the gameplay proceeds. Much of the action in the game is going to be resolved with the dice that are included, including a Thanos and Infinity Stone die, which are going to be used to resolve Thanos' actions in the game as he tries to hunt down and collect the Infinity Stones and defeat the heroes, as well as a set of power dice that the players will use to try and recruit more heroes to their team, as well as attack and defeat villains in an effort to try and win the game. Finally, place the set of bonus tokens near all players that they can collect them over the course of the game as they successfully attack and damage villains. Bonus tokens include a variety of icons that players can use as they work together to try and defeat Thanos before he collects all the Infinity Stones. Let's take a closer look at some of the heroes that you will encounter over the course of the game and some of the key attributes on their cards. Each hero has an icon in its upper left-hand corner that indicates its team affiliation. Of course, the hero's name. The icons listed here, that indicates which dice you have to assign and match its icons in order to successfully recruit it, and of course, an ability for that hero. Each hero has a damage meter that indicates how much damage that character can accumulate before being defeated. We're all set up and ready to start. Players are going to be working cooperatively to try and win the game by defeating at least 7 villains for an easy game from this deck of asset cards. If players can manage to defeat 7 villains before one of 3 conditions happens, they win. But there are 3 ways in which players can lose the game. First, if Thanos manages to collect all 6 Infinity Stones, placing them in the Infinity Gauntlet, players lose. Second, if 10 or more heroes are defeated, players lose the game. And finally, if any one player has all the heroes on their team defeated, players lose the game. To start a player's turn, the active player is going to choose where they want to deploy their team by taking their deployment token and placing it in one of the 3 sectors. By doing so, they're indicating which characters they can interact with for the turn. Heroes that they can try and recruit, and villains that they can try and attack and defeat. After a player deploys their team, we're ready to resolve Thanos actions for the turn by rolling the Thanos and Infinity Stone dice. The Thanos die can have Thanos either rotating to the sector to his left or his right, staying where he's at and re-rolling the Infinity Stone die a second time, or staying where he is and triggering the ability of all villains, not just those present in his sector. The Infinity Stone die has each of the 6 Infinity Stones indicated, and we're going to add a control counter to the matching stone that's rolled. So let's resolve Thanos actions for the turn. The Thanos die indicates that Thanos is going to rotate to the right, and then he will attack all heroes present in that sector by adding a damage counter to them. If there were any villains present, their abilities would also be triggered due to Thanos' presence there. The Infinity Stone die indicates that we add 1 control counter to the yellow Infinity Stone, placing it on the matching card. After resolving Thanos' actions for the turn, the active player gets to take actions by collecting their dice pool, as indicated on their team base of operation card, plus any bonus abilities they may have from the heroes. In this case, as the Avengers, I get 4 red power dice for my turn. After collecting their starting dice pool, the active player will roll their opening roll for the turn. With this opening roll, I have a couple of different options of where I can choose to assign my dice. I'm going to assign these 2 dice with a result of 3 combat icons to Black Widow in an attempt to recruit her and add her to my team. After assigning dice for your opening roll, collect any remaining dice and re-roll them, looking for more icons to match and try and assign to characters in your sector to either successfully recruit the heroes or defeat the villains. At the end of a player's turn, after rolling and assigning all their dice, if the dice assigned to a character match the icons indicated on the character, that hero will be recruited. So in this case, I have the 4 combat icons matching the recruitment cost for Black Widow, and I will collect her and add her to my team. If a player recruits a hero that had been damaged by Thanos while they were in the deployment zone, all damage is removed from that hero when it's added to that player's team. That player is going to collect their deployment token, returning the team to the safety of their base of operations. Then we're going to check the status of everything in the game. Any heroes or villains that have filled up their damage capacity with damage counters is going to be considered defeated and removed from the game. Remember, players win by defeating enough villains, and they can lose if too many heroes are defeated. Any empty spots created in the deployment zone from heroes or villains that are defeated, or heroes that were recruited, are replaced with cards from the top of the asset deck. Finally, we'll check the status of the Infinity Stones. Any Infinity Stone cards that have collected 5 control counters are considered collected and placed in the Infinity Gauntlet, and that card is flipped over, giving Thanos more abilities and more power over the course of the game. Now that we've recruited Black Widow, let's take a look at how our Avengers team is shaping up. Note that each team has a team ability for your opening roll. In this case, if I can roll 6 combat icons on my opening roll, I'm going to get to add a damage to a villain. Captain America has an ability that says if I have another red Avengers hero on my team, I get to roll an extra red or blue die each turn. So I'm getting more powerful with my dice rolling ability. Additionally, Black Widow has an ability that says if I assign 2 combat icon dice to her, I get to draw a bonus token and remove 1 damage from any one hero, allowing my heroes to stay in the fight longer and giving me more abilities to defeat villains. Let's jump ahead a little bit and see the action for the next turn for the Avengers player, now that we've successfully added Black Widow to the team and are getting a little bit more powerful. I'm going to deploy to the same sector as before, this time with the hopes of trying to attack a villain. Of course, after deploying, we have to roll and resolve Thanos' actions. Thanos is going to rotate to the left and attack the heroes there, as well as trigger the ability of the villain present in that sector. In this case, Proximate Midnight says if Thanos is in the sector, add 1 damage to all heroes on the active player's team, so that's me. Finally, we're going to add a counter to the green Infinity Stone. And now I get my chance to take actions for the turn. I'm going to collect my dice pool, which includes those 4 red starting dice that I get for being on the Avengers, and an additional red or blue die because Captain America now has another Avenger on his team. I'm going to roll those dice, and this time I'm trying to assign dice to match the icons on the Outrider in an attempt to defeat it. I've got the tech symbol I need, so I'll assign that and then re-roll the remainders, hoping for a mystic symbol. Great, I got it. I've assigned the 2 dice, and now I can successfully attack and damage this villain. I do so by placing a damage counter on the villain, and as an additional bonus, I get to take 1 bonus token and collect it. I reveal it face up, and I can use this on any player's turn to use this symbol as a matching icon to help any player in recruiting a hero or defeating a villain. Play proceeds in this fashion, with players taking turns deploying their team in an effort to recruit heroes and defeat villains, all while Thanos is taking actions to try and collect the 6 Infinity Stones and defeat heroes. Players can win if they manage to defeat 7 villains before Thanos can collect all 6 Infinity Stones to power up the Infinity Gauntlet, or the heroes suffered too many losses, losing 10 or more heroes over the course of the game. And that's how you play Thanos Rising, Avengers Infinity War.